Hello, everybody. I know, I just realized I'm a whole 30 minutes late. Didn't know it. I was online buying a ticket and I just looked down and they had me, well, they didn't have me, but I had to call three places to find out why my credit card wasn't going through. And dun, 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 I looked down when I finally got through with it. Good news is I got to use the voucher that I had. That's great news. I don't know if it's going through my ears or going through the laptop. If anybody could let me know, I've used a laptop probably when my daughter was in high school, and then I think a couple times while she was in college. She's now through her master's program and done. So that's how long it's been since I've actually used a laptop. I've used an occasional computer at the library, but like that was maybe 2 years ago when we had to get some papers printed and send them out. So, me personally, the laptop is very advanced because I haven't used it in so long. But, anyways, the reason I'm telling you this is I've never streamed at all through a laptop. Whenever I've gone live in cooking, we put our phone on a stand. And to believe it or not, we did the first 2 years of our lives. And we actually did Friday night. It was like a girls' night. We did Friday night girls' night. We had a couple of my mods would come up. Liz Lee, I think Queen K. Oh God, rest my sweet Queen K. Queen K, Liz Lee, and maybe Commander Alpha Turkey. Anyways, I used one of my mods would come up and we'd all just kind of gab about life and everything, and then I think Nunya actually came up on one of the nights. I'm trying to think of what we talked about. I think we just talked about different things, what was going on in their life. So, oh my God, I have a bird, not a bird brain. I have a dog brain. Like my brain starts going into a different direction when I'm actually just asking you guys a question. My question is this: because I've never streamed from a laptop, babe, I smell like Mexican food. I bet you the French toasts are going to taste like Mexican, the kind that we've cooked in there. So my question is this: when I'm streaming on a William, I appreciate you, William. You know what? Thank you. I can always count on you, and it's okay if some days you don't come in, but I truly appreciate just some of my regulars coming in. Let me say it like this: I appreciate some of my regulars that used to come in while I cooked because I did transition the channel to doing something different. I said that to say thank you, William. Now back to I need to figure out a name to just call you. I keep going, oh my God, it's KKLOG. Anyways, I'm just going to call you KK. Um, I've never streamed with my earbuds. And I don't know. That's why I privated my last stream, is that I, for some reason, halfway through my live, it was like hollowy. Does that make sense? Thank you so much, sweets. I don't know if the microphone on my laptop is catching it. If you guys caught the beginning of what I said, is I have not. I know some of you guys are going to think that's very bizarre. I haven't used a laptop in years. Years. My daughter, I think the last time I got on hers was when she was in her first year bachelor's degree, which was back in 16 or 17. Okay. So I haven't used a laptop at all. And then she's gone through her bachelor's, through her master's, and she's now working in another country. So that's how many years it's been since I used a laptop. And I don't mean to sound ignorant. I just have never streamed. We started our channel on just a stand and our phone propped up. And then I think it was Zero. Zero used to be one of my, actually, she was my good friend when we were over with MGL, Zero Jules. Um, she said, hey, man, if you could do your phone sideways instead of straight up and down, it would be better. The people can actually come in and see the content. And I said, oh, I didn't even realize where to find that button at. So literally, I jumped on the cooking lives with a phone in my hand and was walked through a lot of it. So the laptop is very new. William helped me. I think it was BTU and William. Were helping me how to present things because I wanted to show you guys. We used to have a shirt business, and our shirt business was like I showed you guys the other day, but hey, we're very proud of my husband's a great artist. He does some like this is one of his drawings. This is one of his drawings that he just did recently for our daughter. I love, cut it out. Stop it. You're so sweet. Thank you, Sugar Bear. Oh my God, if I could show you what I've got in front of me. I don't even know how to do it if I could. Okay, wait. Okay, let me see if I can do this. So anyways, I said all that to say my husband's an artist. He's drawn. We used to have shirts. And when we had shirts, what I loved about it, I barely figured out how to share a video. That's what I need help with. How to share videos. Like if I go on to YouTube, because I wanted to show you guys this place called Uno's that we used to go to. I know some of you guys, if in the Midwest, Uno's over at Chicago is amazing. And I wanted you guys to see it. I don't know how to share. I don't know. That's my thing is I don't know how to share stuff to the screen or to your guys's so you guys are able to see it. Does that make sense? And I need somebody who's used to laptop use to walk me through. Oh, babe, I love you so much.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you, Sugar Bear. Thank you. You're the best. I love you so much. You can throw a soda in the freezer for me, Dad. Thank you, baby. I know that freaks some people out. Me and Joe raised 2 kids, so I call him that because I got used to calling him that. But this is what my man just brought me. Sorry. Okay, do you want me to tell you this is my morning what is it? Blessing from the Lord. I ordered a loaf of Italian bread, okay? And I ordered a loaf of French bread. Okay, I'm like, okay, Italian and French, I'm going to make whatever. So I got my brain set up what I'm going to make. In my head, I knew we were out of syrup. And I thought, I didn't want to spend the money on a loaf of Texas toast. So I thought, well, the next best thing I'll get is Italian. Over here, it costs like $4 for a loaf of Texas toast, like just Aunt Millie's Texas toast. I said that to say I have been craving French toast. So I said, okay, let me get the loaf of Italian and a loaf of regular French bread, and I'll cut this French bread into slices to make my own thick slices. Well, for someone, the Lord knows is me very well, and there was another loaf of bread in there, and I'm like, I only ordered 2 loaves. I only ordered the seeded Italian sliced bread and a loaf of French bread from like the bakery. Can anybody tell me why there was a loaf of Aunt Millie's Texas toast in my grocery order? I was like, oh my God. And Joe's like, why are you so excited about that loaf of bread? I go, because in my head, I had a number that I wanted to not spend more than on groceries. And so for me, I was like, I don't need that. I don't need this. And kind of just took some stuff out. And I wanted my strawberries because I love strawberries. And I was like, I'll just take out the Italian loaf or the Texas toast. I'm buying already 2 other loaves and I don't need to have it. And so I took it out and I got, you get your receipt. Long story short, it wasn't on my list. And lo and behold, There was a loaf of Texas toast. I know you guys think I'm the wacko, but when you don't have kids, like the exciting your son or your daughter bringing you in flowers because they're playing outside, and you're like, oh my gosh, or your son or your daughter coming home and they did great on a test that you knew they were struggling with, the night before to study, and you're like, oh my God, that's so great. Okay, we're empty nesters. And when they get something extra on your grocery order, boom, it's like a really great, exciting, I don't know. And they didn't charge me. I mean, I did call, I notified them on the like chat with them, and I said, hey, I said, there's some stuff, because I was more concerned that there was another person's order that I got. And I was like, if that person notifies them, I mean, clearly they're not going to be able to line them up. But in case somebody else tells you that they didn't get their order, there was a loaf of Italian or sliced Texas toast, and we didn't buy it. I said, would you like to send your driver back, or do you want me to bring it back into the courtesy desk or whatever, customer service? And she said, ma'am, we don't take our food back or whatever. She said, you may enjoy it if you see fit, or you may discard it. And I'm like, what? I'm not discarding Texas toast. I'm a Texan, for goodness gracious. Mm-mm. Good. Yeah, so good. Thank you, Dad. So for me, I had two blessings. One, they brought it in record time, an hour and a half. Mind you, I did pay $3 more for that. But let me tell you the difference. If you don't do the $3 more, trust me when I say the drivers don't really want to pick up the order. So I'm just saying, I have ordered it at like say 9:15 a.m. and by 10:25 it's sitting in my front doorway. And so for me, 1 hour from time I put the order in to the groceries, I don't even think I would have gotten my shoes on and gotten ready and gotten to the store within 1 hour. Oh, let me take that picture off. So, anywho, I wanted to talk to you guys. Some of you guys heard Miss Mo. I love my Miss Mo. We talked at the very beginning, and she's like, and I know that you really want to do a channel that, or even just sharing his good news or the word or whatever. But this platform doesn't take to it so well. So good luck. And she didn't discourage me. She just tried to prepare me. That's how I see it. Thank you, Dee. You're the best. Coke Zero for the win. So I wanted to say something because I had talked to you guys about I want to say Friday's stream or Thursday. I talked to you guys about 2 or 3 streams ago about saying you're a man of the cloth or a man of God or you're preaching. And what I had told you guys was, which I know because the Bible does say so, that person's blood is on your hands. I said it last week, and I'm so grateful that Miss Mo got up there, because some people may have heard it and some people may not, because I don't get many people that view my channel. I mean, a lot of people don't really want to see this versus they joined just for cooking at one time, and I don't really cook. And I am cooking Wednesday, but I'm trying to do my cooking for my members only as a perk. And that's not that I think I'm all that by any means, but I certainly want to give my members something since they are paying to be members. And so for me, to hear Miss Mo, and obviously she's respected in the community and she's been around, but for me to hear a confirmation, it's pretty amazing. So when I was listening to her last night, some people may have not even caught it. Like, oh, I think Mitten talked about that the other day, but I caught it. And I think I probably had like 6 people in here at the time. And I know people watch it in replay also. But I did say, I personally don't want Let me say it like this. I could come live every single day and rebut or show reasons why certain people are not behaving in a Christian or godly manner. I can show scripture that says these people do not behave in a Christianity, some kind of a biblical, to even give yourself that label. I could, but I seeked out word from the Lord and said, should I get this channel and do this? Like, I could bring basically review the channel in a biblical way, kind of show how all this pride and all this boasting about oneself and carrying on like you're God's gift to man, woman, to even think for a minute that you're worthy that to be behaving in such a manner. And I don't want what I'm saying to fall upon deaf ears, or I don't want what I talk about to be considered I guess drama. I don't want it to be considered drama. I want, and honestly, that is, I know some of you guys may not like this, but it bothered me severely. It wasn't so much pushed in the last 6 months or even a year ago. I'm a Christian channel. I'm a Christian channel. We're godly. We do this space, and we go to TikTok and we give scripture. And any of that. That was really pushed recently, and that's truly was weighing on me. And I was seeking out answers to how these people could so callously use the word and boast themselves that they're a Christian channel, and in the background you hear like the not just such profanity, such vile profanity, and in the same breath saying you're of a man of God, the watchman, the chosen, all that. It just is so sad. Truly, it was sad for me. So I started kind of praying about all of that and asking, like, Lord, how can I counter the disgusting message that's being set out? I mean, grant you, people are hearing, I guess, people are seeing, I guess, a version of it or a vision or in any kind of way that they're presenting. People are kind of talking, but they're more making a mockery of the Lord. So that's when I prayed about it. And I asked the Lord if that's what he wanted me to do. If that's not the direction, was to not go and say this and they did this, so let me show you this, and they did this, so let me show you. And I thought, instead of that, Boogie's calling, babe. Hold on one second, you guys. I don't know how to turn off my microphone. So that's kind of the my hope is that people see when I give messages about how good he is, how good the Lord is. He's a provider. But I also don't want it to. I mean, not that I mind that we speak on the Lord a lot, but there's also every day just things that are going great in your life. It doesn't have to be just that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to be like, well, I would share, but I don't have anything religious to give you, or this is an everything channel. I personally don't speak like that, so you wouldn't come on here and hear me talk like that. So if that's something you want to type, probably that's not going to be, I mean, like, one of my mods will probably delete that. But I said that to say that you guys are, I felt like it was confirmation for me when I heard Miss Mo, just like when I was going to do the channel name, I had prayed about it. And then when Quirky came in and said, I just had a sermon, I just watched a sermon this morning, her and her husband, about the lady who was trying to reach the hem of the garment. And that's what the story I was telling, everybody on, I guess, last week, Thursday or Friday. That's the reason behind a thread. A thread is like the cloth. And for me, I want that. I want people to be able to talk about how, I miss my daughter today, and I just needed to talk to you guys, and you guys are here, and it's great seeing, William Brooklyn. It's great seeing KK here. It gives me time off my mind from missing my daughter. So I know it sounds crazy, but I don't not necessarily go into a lot of chat rooms that much anymore. Um, it's just really my choice. I'd rather just, I don't know. I just, for me, I don't, I get like clips sent to me of somebody who does, and they send me in disbelief of what certain people are saying. And that's the part that I'm like, oh my gosh, there was a reason I'm going to bring up this subject. Or, I wanted to talk about him being a provider. I wanted to talk about, and the last week it was about being a false prophet, or what the harm is. And some people may go, what's the harm in somebody saying that they're the chosen one? Well, because there's actually people out there that give a lot of weight behind the people that are talking when they say, are you talking to your phone? You're going to make me choke on my strawberry.
It's not working. No, it's not working. Why would I have to repeat that?
That's what I'm saying.
It was a big move.
Sorry.
I told him to pick up the right power, and I had ace.
You guys, my husband plays euchre with people online, like an electronic game. And sometimes I'll be watching him, and he's like, because he doesn't really type too much. So he's like really talking into his phone and going, that really was a dirty move. Or try that again next time. Or something. And it's like, it's so funny. Well, you guys have to understand, my husband's like 62 years old. And he's like a very reserved person. And then he's holding up a phone to his face, and he's like, that was pretty gutsy to do that. And it's just funny because he's such a goofball. Anyways, the reason of today's live is to tell you, y'all, please know that I do plan to, because I guess when I said that I'm going to be cooking for my members, I got like a couple of emails that said, does that mean you won't be doing any other lives? No, I plan to do other lives. I just plan to focus. These lives I'm doing right now is for the everybody subs, all subs. And that's why I said some of my mods may not even enjoy the channel change, but the cooking will be for my members. And also occasionally I will be doing it for all the subs. But my regular cooking streams will be for my members. That make more sense? I felt like I don't know how to say it anymore, because it sounds a little confusing. Like, okay, so you're only be cooking for your members. No, I'm just going to have a regular routine to cook with my members. Like, they can expect me to cook every second weekend or second week during that week. So not the first week of the month, but the second week. So it's usually going to fall around the 12th. or the 17th, around there. I'll be cooking that week for my members. As far as my subs, I plan to cook whenever I get the, like, hey, let's cook something. And hey, you know what I mean? Like, this mainly will be my channel of just, hey, we're going to a birthday party. You guys want to come along? I know we were on a boat a couple weekends ago. Like, that'd be something I would take my subs along with. Just going on, like, hey, well, let's go hang out over here. It's more going to be like just a chill vibe, hang out. And it's more that I want it to be more connecting. That's what I want my channel to be, more connecting. Like, let's say William was in need of something. I want William to have a relationship or a place that he can actually email and say, hey, man, I'm going through a really hard time right now. Is there a scripture, or is there something, or could you pray for me while I'm looking for a home, or while I'm looking for a job right now? Something to that effect. Because I feel like when I'm in a cooking channel, I offer that. It doesn't feel like I'm offering it to my subs. I feel like my subs go, hey, I've got a recipe I can send you, or hey, did you want me to send you a recipe? I just don't want to be a place for only a recipe. I want to be kind of like an extension or an avenue of introducing them to somebody that on another level can get something else. That's what I told my husband. If my kids if I leave tomorrow, I want my kids to know there's someone that they can turn to in a time of need, whether it be emotional need or physical needs like finances or food. I want my kids, and for me, I'm proud of my daughter having a master's degree and doing great things in the world. But I am very proud of my son to say, I was praying the other day, and when I was praying, I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, or where, if I'm going to be buying this house or setting my money aside for this. And I was just taking it to the Lord in prayer. To me, as a mother, that felt like my son has won the jackpot lotto. Felt like he just had the most biggest jackpot, $1 billion won. When he can tell me, when he just in conversation, he wasn't telling me like, oh, mom, I'm going to do that. But in conversation, he says, I was in prayer the other day about what I'm going to do about this and this. And that's all I want to be able to give my kids, is that they know who to go to for direction, for guidance, for strength. I know it sounds confusing for some of you guys, but for me, I felt like when I was going to church when I was growing up, I could do all the bad I wanted as long as I made it to church on Sunday and I took communion. Once I took communion, my sins were forgiven for the next week. I know it sounds weird, but that's how man, that pop is strong. It's like cuts your throat. That's how I viewed growing up. As long as I go to church on Sunday and I and I asked the Lord to forgive me for my sins, I was forgiven. Now I realize it's a whole different thing. I realize it's about talking to somebody, reaching out to somebody, connecting with somebody, wanting him to be a part of my life, my marriage, my kids. I want him involved in everything I do. And that's what I'm talking about when my son was about to make a financial decision, but he didn't want to do it without seeking the Lord's guidance. That's for me as a mother, when I know that I'm doing an okay job, or I did an okay job, when I showed him I don't want anything without the Lord's blessing. Nothing, not a single thing. As much as I love my husband, but if it wasn't right for us back in 2005 or 6 or 3, when did we get 2004? If it wasn't right for us then, I would trust that the Lord had another man for me. And I would trust, I mean, I would be sad. I'm not saying I wouldn't miss him, but I trust the Lord in many, many things that we do. So I said all that to say, please don't feel like if you don't share a God story, a praise report, or anything like that, I still want to hear from you guys. I still want to know if you guys liked or had a good weekend. I still want to know if you guys are doing things. Excuse me. I want to know if you guys had something monumentally that you guys are like, I didn't have somebody to share with and I want to share it with somebody. You know, kind of like that. Mm. Let's see. This is the coffee cake we're making, you guys, this weekend or on Wednesday. Yum. William, I'm praying for you. Oh my gosh, how exciting. I will keep you in prayer, William. 2 interviews, babe.
Nice.
Heck yeah. And I always tell people, I'm the kind of person that if my enemy says, I'll pray for you, please, I'll take any prayers from anybody. A stranger, I'll pray for you. Thank you. Any prayers, I will take them because the more, the better for me. I do not, what's that called? I don't have any preference on anybody. Yeah, no, I would be more than happy. And you know what? I'd be that day, if it's like on Wednesday or something, I will do a morning of fasting so that you can be blessed with this job, William. Just let me, if you want to put in the comment section later what day it is on, if it's Tuesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon, that morning I'll do a fast for you. I mean, I truly believe that prayers are there for us, and it's when we seek out to get them. And I would love to, I mean, it would just make me feel good knowing that you are blessed like that. That's what I want to know. So any of my replay crews, if anybody knows how to get a video from YouTube that I've already saved it and I put it somewhere here because it says that I put it. It's not in my documents. It's in my, I think, downloads. And then I like right click on it. I just don't know where to put it. Let's see, video file. Maybe it's there. Movies. Um,
I wanna hide the truth.
See, I know how to get it there. I just don't know how to get, my video that I want to put there. I mean, the other day I tried doing it like a private stream, and so that way I could mess around with it. And I just don't know what I'm doing to get the video that's in somewhere. I know it's down next to it. It says like YouTube because it's a YouTube clip, and I want to be able to pull it up so I can show you guys. Oh, let me show that. My husband drew this, you guys. My husband drew that, the car. That was the beginning stages. The car you drew for Bad Chad.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called a cab over or something like that. So that's what I've had to do is like kind of experiment like where to find it. But I honestly, I've tried so hard to, oh my God, that's exciting. You know what? Um, my niece was telling me the other day, she said on Sundays, her mother-in-law picks up her 3 kids and takes them to church with her every Sunday. And it allows her and her husband to just kind of reconnect. And you know what? For whatever reason, that's great. And that's the whole thing is do it at your pace. And she's doing, I'm never going to tell her, like, well, don't you want to go with them? My niece is giving me great information about her family, and I'm excited that the children are going to be introduced to it. Like I said, for me as a mom, I can't promise my son or my daughter I will be here when they're 70, 50, 30. I mean, my brother was past it when he was only 20 years old. And the thought that my son or my daughter might have to go on without me, I want them to know there is a God to lean on to comfort. There is a God that is strong enough to hold you in your darkest, saddest, horriblest days when you're going to miss me, because they're going to miss me. Well, I miss my dad like crazy. And if my dad's not here, trust me when I say that he is an amazing, yeah, he does a lot of stuff like that for different people. He drew that one for a friend, for Bad Chad. I don't know if you guys know him. He's on YouTube. He does car rebuilds and stuff. But for me, it's very much, it's a very, for me, this is just me, guys. I've had great losses. My dad is probably, well, my brother hurts a lot because me and him were like best friends back when he was only 20 and I was only 17. To me, death is real. I don't know how weird that sounds, but my husband, when we got together, he said, I have never had anybody close to me pass, ever. He said, like my mom and dad are still alive. His sister was still alive, his nieces, nephews, all of his family members. And that's a blessing. It truly, truly is a blessing to have that. And unfortunately, I found out like at 17, like I said, I was going to be 18 that year, that death is real. And my brother died 2 weeks before he turned 21. And he left behind 3 girls. And then my dad took care of them and took them under his wing and was like the father figure for them. And for some reason, and I'll understand one day, but my dad took, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I'm so happy for you, KK. Yet you're going to go with your in-laws. That's a blessing. I lost my dad when I was 30. So for me, and my brother was like, I said bye to him, like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. Literally, he backed out of the driveway. We were at my mom's house and we joked around and we were goofing around. And they said, all right, I'll catch you on the flip side. And he did his little 2-finger little wave and he backed out. And the next day, he didn't come to the house, so we were kind of like, I wonder where he's at. That's kind of weird. He's comes by, didn't come by today. And little did we know we had gone to the house and knocked a few times, but his garage door was closed, so we didn't see inside of it or nothing. So we didn't know. So for the next 3 hours, we kept looking and kind of knocking and everything. But we ended up having my uncle, who was a firefighter, went over there and hit the door because he said, I got into the garage. The garage had his car in there. So I went in the side door and he basically said that my brother was there and that we needed to get there. So in my head, I heard I knew he worked for, the fire department, but they were getting rescue there. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, well, at least rescue's on their way. And he should be okay, right? Because rescue's on the way. But no, he actually went in, and my brother had a valve in his heart. When he was younger, he had the valve inserted, or he had an operation when he was like 6 months old, or maybe just under a year. He had a valve put in, and then he had it again as he grew bigger. He had to keep going to get a new valve put in for the size of his heart because he grew. So, he had another one put in about 5 years old, and then he had another one at 13. And the one he had at 13, he was scheduled to have it updated and have a new valve put in his young adult. So anywhere from 16 to 20, they were going to do it. They kind of were waiting. He was taking Coumadin to thin his blood so it could go through the valve door. It sounds weird to say, but there's a door on this valve back then. And he had to, he was just, what happened was he woke up when they decided or discovered was that he probably woke up and he stood up and something didn't feel right. And so that's it. He actually fell over. And from that point on, for us felt like, wow, overnight he was here. Then my dad got sick, and it was like we had about 3 months to prepare. So a lot of people are like, well, is one better than the other? You had time to prepare. The other one, you had to, you didn't get a chance to. And they honestly all feel the same. Nothing is like, it all felt the same. I don't know how to describe it, but one of them was, yeah, you had 3 months to say goodbye to somebody. The other one was, he was gone. He was here today and gone tomorrow. But in the end, the best thing that we found was it felt like that my mom had said when she lost my brother that the Lord got her through it daily. She couldn't have done it without him. Sometimes I kind of go like, why, Lord, but then I'm like, you know what? He is so amazing. I don't question. It sounds hard to believe. Just trust me. You catch me on the wrong day, and I'll question everything. Like, why would you do this? But I try not to question. I try to trust. I try to believe and know that there was a reason for it all. And who am I? He is so mighty and powerful. Why would I question somebody who's so amazing? Other than he has a plan in this all, and one day it will all make sense. And until then, I'm just going to have to go on faith. I'm going to have to go on faith and know that. Sorry if you guys couldn't hear me. I stuck my face in my thermos cup. I see my mom is 75. And that does, it says, gosh, it must be hard. My parents are in their 60s, and it scares me. One day they won't be here. And that's what scares me about my son, because I'm 53. My husband's 61 or 61 or
60.
No, you're not. Last year you were 60.
No.
74. Today's 2005.
How old are you?
Count the years. You're born in 64. You're born in 64. And we're in 2025. So there has to be one more one on it because we're in 2025. You just now turned 61. You don't like it, but it's true. My mom is 75, and I feel like I lost my dad at 53 years old. Here's my age, what I am right now. And it does scare me too, KK. It scares me that because loss is so real in I've experienced it so often for me. I don't want my son and my daughter to feel this. I don't want my kids to know what it feels like to miss their mom or to want to talk to their mom and we're not here. Like I know that I'll be worried like if they have a bad day at school or a bad day at work or whatever. But my biggest fear is the way I get some days I just want to talk to my dad or I think about my brother, the things we used to do, and I don't want that for my kids. But having said that, I have to realize that those are the moments that I get closer to the Lord because I am turning to Him in a time of my need. I'm turning to Him when I'm sad and I don't understand why He had to be taken so soon. And I mean, you go through everything like, oh my gosh, why not that person? Why this one? Why that? And then you're just like, how unfair. I know that there's bad people out there and there's people that do bad things in this world. Why not them, Lord? And then you realize that it was because this was my dad's time. As much as I don't want to say it, and as much as I want to not believe it, it was my dad's time. And it did get us closer to not only the Lord, but my walk strengthened when I needed Him. He can't be my strength if I don't go through times of needing that strength. And when my son was, you guys know that I told you my son was kind of in and out of trouble. I wanted to help my son so bad. I wanted to just go bail him out. It was only his friends had come up with like $250, and it was $300 for him to bond out. And I was like, oh Lord, it's only $50. But I went to the Lord in prayer and I said, oh my gosh, should I just pay it? Like, is this what I should do? And the Lord had laid on my heart that it wasn't about the money. The Lord said, how will he know me as, like, how will he turn to me or lean on me if he always has you? If he's always, you're running to him and he's calling on you and you're always bailing him out, literally bailing him out. How will he know who I am if you are always there to intercede? And I said, you're right. And so he said, Mom, the guys are going to come over to bring the money. You get your one phone call. And I said, I can't, Drew. I can't do it, Drew. I'm not going to give him the money. And he said, are you kidding me? And I said, no, I'm really not kidding you. You're going to have to stay in there. And I probably cried because his birthday was the next day. And that's why they had all gone out, was because it was his birthday. And I just cried and couldn't believe it. But I was like, you know what? I took it to the Lord and I asked him, what should I do? And when the Lord answered, who am I to tell him he gave me the wrong answer? Anyways, that's pretty much, sums it up. Like we went through a lot of stuff with our son, but I want to someday interview or talk to him just so you guys can get to know like who he is, and that way he can give you his firsthand account of what made him turn and stop doing the crazy stuff and became a great dad and leave all that crazy stuff behind. I wanted to share more about the exciting confirmation it was for me when I heard Miss Mo talk about the importance of who's sharing. I know it would be kind of neat. I thought so too. Because I had said that before, like somebody who's like, say I gave you this bad misconception of who the Lord is or Christianity or anything. and you leave here going, I do not want to know that God. Never again. I just saw what all the things that, this mitten is just, I hear how she behaves and speaks and all this, and she calls herself a Christian. I don't want to know that God. The Lord will hold everybody who uses him to like boast themselves. He will hold them accountable. And that's a scary, scary spot to be in. I want him to say, enter thy kingdom, my good and faithful servant. I want him to know that I gave everything, not only so that they could get to know him better, but there's so many people that don't even know who he is. Like my husband said, he knew him only as a whipping post. When things didn't go right, he'd say, what kind of a God does that? What kind of a God is that? That's the kind of God we serve. Like he had such a bad taste about who the Lord was before we went and we became very involved in church. And it's nothing about a place, the building, or nothing like that. It's about reading the word, finding out what each verse means, a deep dive into the verse and where the verse came from and what do they mean by that and what was going on during that time that they said this and what makes that verse have the weight that it does from the Old Testament to the New Testament. You know what I mean? Like it's not just knowing a verse, it's knowing where things were at that time that this verse has such significant weight. Anyways, that's what you scared me. I look up and you're looking at me. Anyways, have a good week. I pray that you guys are blessed abundantly. I pray that your finances are blessed tenfold. And thank you guys so much for coming in. I got really excited. I wanted to share it last night, but it was like 2 a.m. If you know, you know. That's this person came on the panel last night, and I thought I'm going to wait till today. And then today, I started looking at the schedule. I'm flying out of here in a week, and it was supposed to be 2 weeks. And I happened to kind of look at the schedule, and I go, oh my gosh, I need to actually leave before then. So, Betty damn Boop. Hello, my sweet lady. Thank you for coming in, babe. Yes, please rewatch. But I am going. I'll be actually gone for a longer time this month because my niece is going to be delivering her first baby, and my brother's a single dad, and he's got 3 kids, and I am blessed to be able to be there to help him. So I'm going to be down there to help. I'll be with my mom. My mom will help him too. But I mean, you guys got to remember, my mom's still 75 years old. Or shit, she's going to have a heart attack. She's just older. And like, for me to be able to help my brother, I'm blessed. She doesn't have her mom there right now. I know. I'm excited for my sweet niece. And unfortunately, she's on her own. I mean, she's got her fiance, but I mean, a girl needs her mom. A girl needs her mom to go, is this normal to have this? Is this normal to do this? Why do I feel like this? And I just wish I could help her more. And I have a very, very understanding husband who will take over the dogs. I mean, we could take them. We could drive down there, but I want us to still see Papa's. So Joe's going to stay here to hold down the grandparents' fort. And I'm going down there to be the aunt / mother figure for my beautiful niece as she's about to deliver. She was in the hospital over the weekend, which is the reason I changed my flight. She was hospitalized. That the doctor does think she's not even due till the 22nd. But the doctor said that he does believe she will be going sooner. So I'm going up there to get her home, make sure her room is in. I know. I'm going up there to make sure her house is in order, the room that she's going. And just they have like a couple bathrooms, and one of them is right outside of her room. and I want that one to be set up for her and the baby that she can. And I know I don't have great hands. That's all Joe keeps telling me is, babe, your hands are not that good. And I said, just relax, son. I'll be fine. So, no, I will take it easy. I promised him I would take it easy. And I respect my husband that he does care enough about me. But I'm going to go down there and take care of my niece, Mad. And then I'll be back at the end of September. It's kind of sad, actually, when I say it like that. I don't even want to think about it because our anniversaries during the time I'm gone. So, in Jesus' name, you know what? It's all going to be worth it, and I'm going to think about that. Okay, you guys, I could just keep going and talking and talking and talking. I know it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm not going to think about the scaries of it. I'm going to think about what a blessing it is that I'm able to be there for her. And in Jesus' name, she's going to have a very healthy, very quick delivery. You guys be blessed. I was going to do a cooking one on Wednesday, but if I decide to cook this week, like a regular dinner, because I was going to do, what did we say we were going to make, babe? And I said, man, a country fried steak. But that's we might do a country fried steak. Thank you, Betty Damn Boop. Thank you for that. If I do a country fried steak or a broccoli salad, I'll get, I try to, what's the word I'm looking for? I try to plan it. Like a lot of times, like sometimes the other night for dinner, we made homemade chips and salsa, and that's it. I had some tomatoes there, some romas, some cilantro, some onion. Our neighbor grew jalapenos, and I just said, hey, there's some El Milagro tortillas. If you want to make some chips, I'll make the salsa. And that's what we had for dinner that night. But other nights, like just for breakfast today, we had a grilled peanut butter and jelly because we had a couple of eggs and I didn't know what I was going to do with them yet. But if anybody wants to know what a grilled peanut butter and jelly is, you put peanut butter and jelly on, like you're making a sandwich. Then you lay it down, like the sandwich is down. And then the back of it, you put butter on it. Then you take your pan and it's hot and you throw your sandwich on the side that had the butter flat down. And then while that side's kind of toasting up, getting grilled, you get some soft butter and you do the back of that one now because the other side is on the pan already cooking. Then you just flip it once. Usually one flip will do it because your pan's usually pretty hot and you're not trying to melt cheese. You're just trying to get the outside nice and golden. It tasted superb. I had strawberry jelly because I like strawberry jelly or jam. And it was great. I'm getting used to the new channel. Aw. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed week at work, a blessed day doing the things that you love the best. And make memories with the ones you love because those memories are the ones that we hold on to.